I'm Jay Taylor. I'm the editor of Jay Taylor's Gold, Energy, and Tech Stocks newsletter. I also host a radio show called Turning Hard Times into Good Times. I'm here at the Metals Investor Forum in Toronto. It is March 2nd, 2019, and I'm really pleased to be with Luc Lesage. He is an investor with Coral Gold Resources. It's a company I've been tracking for quite a while. It's in my newsletter. It is a company that's just recently transformed into a royalty company. The stock is about 48 million shares outstanding. The stock is basically trading at cash value, and it has some very attractive royalties, one in particular. Luc, thanks for joining me today.
Good to be with you.
Yeah, and you are a shareholder of the company. You've been following it for many years. You talked to us a little bit about the transformation into a royalty company. You had been an exploration company years in the past. Louis Wolfman, the founder of the company, who's passed away now, unfortunately, but it was his brainchild. And he had a lot of success in exploring and developing an oxide and open pit project in Nevada along the major trend there. And you've decided to turn yourselves into a royalty company. Talk to us about why that decision was made.
Yeah, well, first, Lou got control of that property. We go back to the mid-'80s, so it had a heap leach pad in the late '80s. It's produced for a while, and then the price of gold up and down, and it ended up being shut down. Now the company, as you know, is run by his son, David Wolfman, and there's, we don't have the time today to tell you exactly everything that's been happening with this company, but it's been all over the place. But the Robertson property, basically, the property was staked before the pipeline was discovered, but it sits right next to the north end of the open pit. And so we knew that the potential for that property existed. And over the years, with our relationship with Barrick, we've had several joint ventures. They ended up knowing the property better than we did. But there's a lot of gold on that property. There's been a lot of smoke, and it's always been our belief that there was a feeder zone way below, down deep. And for a company like Coral, the reason why we turned into a royalty is because after 2011, the price of gold started going down. The stock ended up at 5 cents. There was virtually no cash in the company. And when you were talking about drilling, a 1,000-meter drill hole, it costs a lot of money.
Sure.
And if you have to raise funds at a price of 5 cents with a warrant at 10 cents, you end up with so many shares out that you don't know at the end whether it's going to be lucrative, whether it's going to be profitable for the shareholders or not. It may, but it may not.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the decision was made at the end of the day. There was a strong interest by Barrick. It took a long time to negotiate this deal, but we ended up selling the property to Barrick for terms that I believe are quite respectable, that we're very happy with.
Right, and you're very concerned about your share count, which is understandable. I think you're very, your capital structure is very solid.
We only have 48 million shares outstanding.
And you're, as I mentioned, you're selling basically at cash now. Now
Absolutely.
Talk to us a little bit about the royalty. You have a sliding scale royalty with Barrick, and Barrick they're working towards putting, towards a production decision. Well, maybe they're definitely working on the engineering, the permitting, a lot of things like that, right? They're going at it pretty hard. You don't have a lot of information, but they're really working towards production. And Luc, it makes sense to me that they're doing this because they have the infrastructure right there. They have their own mills there.
That's correct.
So it's not like a standalone project where you would have to go out and build your own mill. So the economics, no doubt, I'm sure they factored that in. You have a known oxide deposit, but you also have the potential for something, a Carlin-style high grade at depth, the feeder zone, if you will.
And that's really the what interested Barrick more than anything else. Now, of course, this resource near surface is making it less risky for Barrick.
Sure.
They're going to scoop that up and feed the mill, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But that's not why they bought it. They bought it for what's potentially is down deep.
The big things.
Exactly.
Because you're right next to the pipeline and the Cortez. I mean, these are phenomenal mines. It's the same, I think probably the same system, or at least that's the theory.
Well, yeah.
And if that's the case, then
the infrastructure cost or capital cost, if you like, will be at a minimum.
Yeah. Okay, so Barrick is working on moving this thing forward. What could be the drivers now? What do you think? Are you expecting some news from Barrick anytime soon that might actually wake this stock up? Because frankly, your market cap is very low right now. With 48 million shares, you're selling at what, about?
We have a $20 million market cap.
$20 million. So this is why I'm excited about this possibility. If you own this stock, when the green light goes on and Barrick starts talking about economics, I don't know when that's going to happen, but they'll start putting out some news. At some point, if they're going to produce, they'll have to declare it, they'll have to talk about it.
Well, right now, what we know is every quarter they're giving us an update. It may not be an update that's telling us everything, it's a bit shallow, but they're giving us an update every quarter. So the next important piece of news that we're expecting from them is the prefeasibility study that they're telling us will come out during the course of 2019.
Okay.
Exactly when, we don't know, but
okay.
Yeah. And that we're really looking forward to.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think, you know, if you start seeing some economics on this thing, it would be, obviously people can start to figure what that's going to mean in terms of cash flow to your company. To go
yeah, and right now the strategy is to hold and wait. And we know we've had some interest from, without naming anyone, from a number of royalty companies. Yeah. And but
well, it's like I think Royal Gold got their start right there, right? That was
yeah.
that
well,
was
actually, the day we announced the closing of the deal, we had a call from
Royal Gold.
Yeah, from Royal Gold
yeah.
to congratulate us on the deal. And
you know, it's one of these things. Like I joked with you a little while ago, Luke. Can you give me a call the day before they're coming out with the, so I can go buy the stock?
Right.
But it's not that easy, and obviously, I think if you believe the upside is very substantial from where it is now, people might want to buy a few shares and just tuck them away and wait. I mean, if 2019 we get that kind of information, we could see some movement this year, I think.
If that Carlin-style system is there, as we believe it could be, this royalty is definitely
could be very valuable.
Very valuable.
Very valuable.
Yeah.
Anything else, Luke? That's basically the story. It's a very simple story, isn't it?
It is.
And so we want to watch it, and I'm really pleased that we could talk today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And too bad that David couldn't be here.
Yeah, David unfortunately wasn't well, but
I'm happy to
catch up with David the next time.
Represent the company.
Thank you very much for doing so.
Thank you.